What chance does Brock Lesnar have to beat John Cena at this year's SummerSlam? Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason. Um, it's kind of a tough one to answer. So, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, let's do a little rewind and talk about where Brock has gone in the WWE over the course of the last 2 years leading up to this. Um, Brock's had some significant challenges and some more insignificant challenges. When he first came back it was the night after WrestleMania, April 2012. He challenged the top guy, um, John Cena, at Extreme Rules. And Cena beat him. Now, that right there was strange. I remember after that, seeing that match. Cena got his ass kicked. There's no sugarcoating that. Cena got his ass kicked. And yet Cena won the match, which pissed off a lot of people. When you think about WWE logic or just wrestling logic, when there's a big comeback into a company and someone makes a big first comeback statement, wrestling whoever at a pay-per-view, headlining it or whatever it is, usually that comeback is successful. You get a win. So that comeback right there was really strange. We then saw him face Triple H at SummerSlam 2012, and he beat him. Then that led to the rematch of Triple H beating Brock at WrestleMania 29 in 2013. And that was a good rivalry. I think it's one that fans legit really wanted to see. I thought it was pretty good, but that didn't end there, because at the following pay-per-view then, he beat Triple H and ended the rivalry for the third time in a row wrestling him. Yeah, he beat Triple H. Extreme Rules 2013, he beat him. And then we didn't see him. And then he went on to face CM Punk at SummerSlam 2013, and he beat him there. Now pause. Think about that. Think about what I just said. SummerSlam 2012, he beat Triple H. SummerSlam 2013, he beat CM Punk. Okay? Let that stick in your head for a second. Then we didn't see him for a while. Then at the end of 2013 in December, he starts talking about the Royal Rumble. How he wanted to, he was talking about he wanted to make himself the number one contender. He wanted to face whoever was the champ after the Royal Rumble. Which made you think that he was gonna, he legit was gonna face the champ. And then it never happened. A lot of crazy stuff happened. CM Punk left. Daniel Bryan took over with the whole yes thing for the next, several months, and did his whole rise to the top leading to WrestleMania. So I think everything with Brock Lesnar got kind of sidetracked because of the fan base. It's kind of interesting. He went on to, now these were, rivalries that kind of, I'm going to call these the insignificant ones that I was talking about. He destroyed Mark Henry, and then he destroyed the Big Show at the Royal Rumble. And it ended there until WrestleMania 30, where he did the unthinkable. And I'm saying he did the unthinkable because I think the majority of the fans assumed he was going to beat The Undertaker. And myself, I was shocked too. Definitely was. Now, my wife, I can call her my wife now because, bam, got married this past weekend. But I'm not. This video isn't about that. Okay. My wife at the time, she got a little snarky after Brock won because she was like, I knew he was going to beat The Undertaker. And I was like, what? Really? It made sense to her. It probably made sense to between 5 to 10% of the fans out there that he would win. Everyone just assumed year after year, after 20 whatever years, that Undertaker was going to win. So many assumed that the Undertaker was going to go on forever. How long undefeated at WrestleMania? And Brock comes in and just destroyed him. And we know now from the words, like I said in one of my last videos talking about Paul Heyman and CM Punk, what Brock did to the Undertaker. He legit destroyed him. Undertaker went through the first curtains when he left WrestleMania and collapsed and had to go to the hospital, and Vinnie Mac went with him to the hospital. So looking at Brock's history for the last 2 years, and knowing what he's done since the beginning of the year, talking about wanting to be champ again, it's really hard to tell. If you look at the promo that they put on Raw this last Monday about his rivalry with John Cena, I thought it sounded vaguely familiar. So I did a tiny bit of research. I looked up on YouTube what his comeback promo was to the WWE 2 years ago. And the two are similar. They're not identical, but they're very similar. He says stuff to the effect of, I'm not a superstar, I'm an ass kicker. When he did his promo 2 years ago, he did not talk about being champ. This promo that he cut, or the interview, whatever you want to call it, that they showed this past Monday night on Raw, he says he came back to the WWE to be champ. And he goes on, to talk about how he's going to hurt, John Cena really bad. He's going to destroy him. Why wouldn't he? Look at what he did to The Undertaker. He's like, why can't I? Look at what I did to him. Why can't I be champ? So, thinking about that, I think about what I was assuming 2 years ago. Well, not 2 years ago. When he came back 2 years ago, I said, well, okay, he's got a year. We found out he had a year contract, which apparently was, a successful year for him. We then find out he was signed for another 2 years. On paper, knowing that he was going to be around for 2 years, there was no doubt in my mind at some point that Brock Lesnar was going to be champ. It made sense. He's a big name. He's coming back. Why not make him champ at some point during the course of this 2-year contract with the WWE? You know, why not? Big name. He can, you know, he was, when he was champ before in the WWE, he was the youngest champ. In fact, he was champ a couple times. So when you look at that, you say, sure, why not? He can be champ. If you think outside the box and look at everything else regarding what he's done the last 2 years, there's absolutely no way the WWE would make him champ. Here's why I say that. If you think about that aspect of it, you say, well, like John Cena says, he goes away for a long, long time, comes back, has a match. Win or lose, has a good match, you know, makes his presence felt, and then, you know, collects his check, goes away again for a while. Thinking about that, why the hell would the WWE make him champ? Unless this is coming towards the last half year of his, or a good chunk of his last year of his contract. And he's done whatever, X amount of dates. I don't know how many. I don't know how many he's supposed to have the rest of his contract. You know, has he just been playing it safe? You know, seeing how his health is, because he has gone through a lot of health issues, especially when he was in the UFC. You know, it wasn't looking good for him at all. You know, he had to drop the belt and get it back and stuff because of his health. So, assuming his health has been good, I haven't heard about any health issues with him. You know, maybe he wanted to see and make sure that with traveling and everything, his health was going to remain well, so that when it was time to make him champ, possibly now, that he could handle the rigor of traveling all over the place, the touring. You can go back and forth on this all night and look at all the different aspects of it. It's, you know, you try to think ahead and think about, well, what are they going to do down the road? If they did make him champ, how long would he be champ? You know, it's so hard to say. This is one of those big question marks. John Cena being champ right now, I've heard many people say is a transitional champ. It's leading towards something big, because John Cena as champ right now doesn't mean anything anymore to several fans, including myself. Like when Brock came back 2 years ago, he said he's sick of Cena's crap, just like everyone else is. When Cena became champ this last time, he became the 15-time champ, fans were like, really? 15 times in the last, 12 years, whatever it's been? Do we really need this again? I mean, yeah, there's Cena marks out there that are like, oh, of course, he's the greatest champ of all time. Of course, keep the belt on him 24/7, 365 days a year. Oh, of course, why not? Because it doesn't mean anything anymore. Is Cena a good guy? Sure. Cena's a good guy. Is he a hard worker? Sure. Does he do great stuff for kids that are sick and dying? Yeah, that's one of the reasons I respect him. I may not like him, but I do respect him. Okay, that's the big difference. So this build-up since the beginning of the year with Brock Lesnar, talking finally within the last, half year, just over half year now, talking about wanting to be champ again. Cena's coming off pretty cocky in this last interview promo that they did. He's like, I beat him before, I can beat him again. I know what it takes to beat him. Yeah, that's true. Man, it's a real tough one. The more I've thought about it over the course of the last week or so, thinking about, oh, well, okay, Brock's coming back. Is he going to be champ? Hell no. Absolutely no chance. But the more I'm thinking about it, yeah, they might actually pull the trigger and make Brock champ. They might actually do it. Because I have to think that somewhere down the road, it's going to lead to something bigger. It's going to lead to something big for Seth Rollins and or Roman Reigns. So, do I think Brock's going to win? Yeah, I don't want Brock to win, honestly. Well, no, I take that back. I do want to see Brock beat Cena. You also got to wonder if they're going to throw a stip in the match, like make it a Extreme Rules match like they had before 2 years ago. He's had hardcore matches with Triple H. I'm trying to remember what kind of match he had with CM Punk at the last SummerSlam from last year. I can't remember, but I know he beat CM Punk. Lesnar's a brutal guy, and fans all over the place are going to go back and forth with this nonstop until the pay-per-view. So yeah, I think Brock Lesnar is going to beat John Cena. Now, how long he's going to be champ, I don't know. It could be just a month. Who knows? Because I've heard some people say, oh, well, it's just going to lead to Cena being a 16-time champ. Who knows? That's a possibility. I don't want to see that. I hope it leads to something big for someone else. Maybe Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns finally going over. That'd be great. I'd love to see that. See Roman Reigns get that top spot and be like the next generation of, The Rock. For this generation, that'd be pretty slick. I'd love to see it. He's a great star. Great look. Maybe not the best wrestler on the roster, but how many best wrestlers on the roster become champ, honestly, There's a lot of guys that are best wrestlers that get put to the side just because they don't have that it factor. Well, so what do you guys think, folks? Like I said, you can go about this. I can go on 5 hours going back and forth on all the different issues. Brock being champ, or hell no, he's not going to be champ. What do you think? What do you think Brock's chances are at becoming champ? At him becoming champ at SummerSlam? All right, put in your comments below. Let me hear what you think. Thanks for watching, guys.